Today on Wardens, we deploy decoy stings across the state in an all-out assault on would-be poachers.
Good shot, good shot.
Later, a shot in the dark leads to an investigation uncovering one of the state's largest poaching operations.
It looked like they murdered somebody in that cabin. There was just blood everywhere, blood on everything.
It all happens now on Wardens.
You know what you did wrong? You're before shooting hours. There we go. You want to go to jail, Joe?
We use the simulated wildlife decoy to target all kinds of illegal activity. We'll put them up in the dark, you know, which before and or after shooting light, obviously at that point to catch people shooting them in the headlights or with a spotlight, you know, shooting from the road, shooting from the vehicle. Most of the time we put them up, we try to make it totally illegal. There's no way anybody could shoot it legally.
Operation Elk Dummy starts out in Region 2, just northwest of Deer Lodge, Montana, with Wardens Terry Althouse and Captain Jeff Dara.
Oh, so we can hide back in there? Okay. Where are you putting it? In right there?
Right here, and you can get it from both ways, and then we'll have to have somebody here and somebody over on right over.
Okay.
Today's target will be hunters heading home from a weekend in the mountains. Captain Jeff Dara and Terry Althouse, along with Warden Joe Cambick, are setting up a spike bull elk. It's 2 hours before sunset.
Sometimes we do put them up with that it's slightly possible to shoot it legally. And that, during those times, we're targeting specific things more so than a wide range of things, such as the shooting from the road or shooting from the vehicle in the daytime.
Herb, I think, was our first decoy.
When did you make that thing, Terry? How long ago?
I was in the bidder. So
Like-
that would have been around 1990 to 92, somewhere in there.
Yeah, like 20 years old. He still looks good though.
Okay.
I think he was real.
This is embarrassing.
I'd like to see you build one yourself better.
Yeah, Terry built that thing.
Okay, now I'm back on your side. I thought you had a taxidermist do this.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I think it looks handsome.
Randy says it looks good from there. We're looking good.
Okay.
Looks good.
I think so. You look
All right.
sweet. Good luck. So this is a tried and true spot. Yeah. This is tested.
But,
I like it.
yeah.
But sometimes we'll put it up to where it's possibly a legal animal, but if a guy gets out of a pickup truck and starts walking into the woods to go actually after it legally, we'll shut him down.
With the decoy ready, our wardens need to hide vehicles. Cambick will be in a chase vehicle if needed, and Althouse and Dara will hide in the trees close to the road.
This is closed to bull or anything but brow tine bull. So a lot of times you can hear what they say. They'll identify it loud enough so you know they know what it is.
Moments later, the first vehicle arrives. They've seen the decoy. A door is opening. decisions. There is a choice to be made. Question is, will it be the right one?
Wardens is brought to you in part by Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor.
Region 2 wardens have set up a simulated elk decoy and have a hunter taking a serious look at it. Will this hunter make the right choice?
That was a close one. Looked pretty good from here.
Good. If we could just have you keep moving on, we'd appreciate it.
Betcha.
Thank you.
Just barely legal, too.
Thanks a lot.
Never seen that dumb elk. Got a nice picture, though.
That was a close one, boys.
Moments later.
He's coming back. He's gonna go warn people.
Fearing this vehicle is going to head back up the road to warn other hunters, Captain Dara pulls him over for a quick chat.
Where are you headed?
I'm heading back to camp.
You got a camp back here?
Yep.
You do me a huge favor, not warn anybody on your way up?
I won't.
Because we're trying to stop poaching.
Yep.
200 miles to the east in Region 5, Warden Paul Lukey has set up a deer decoy. Assisting on this operation will be Warden Courtney Tyree.
So the idea is you want to be able to see the decoy from where you're hiding, but not have them be able to see the truck. And we're going to put it over there on the other side of the road, hide the truck back here. And the idea is to catch these road hunters, which are pretty serious resource abusers. Have you with the radio up there. We won't see the vehicles coming. I mean, they'll be right on us before we can see them coming, but you'll see them coming from a long ways, I think, from up there. Okay. Quiet. Can you see him? Okay. I can't see anything. Need a shot.
He shot from roadside of the fence.
From the roadside. Yeah. All right, guys. Be cool with your guns in your hands, please. You guys got your, step on out. You stay in the driver's seat there, all right? You guys have licenses? Who shot?
That would be me.
All right. Where are you guys from?
Columbus.
Okay. How old are you? 16? 15. All right. Was it a legal shot, do you think? Were you off the road? Were you on the other side of the fence? You didn't cross the fence? What do you think?
I didn't see when it shot because I was still coming around the front.
Okay. Obviously, we caught you with a decoy. Do you know why we run decoys?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you guys think we run decoys?
Poaching and catching it.
Yep. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you guys hunting on this spot, but we get a lot of road hunting in Stillwater County, right? And I like the fact you made an effort. You didn't shoot from the vehicle, but do you think there's a problem with where you shot right there, from what you know from hunter safety?
Yeah.
You would say there's a problem? You're on the shoulder, you weren't off the roadway? Where can you shoot? And this is just, I'm just trying to gauge what your knowledge of where you can shoot at a game animal in Montana. In the regs it says off the roadway, you can't shoot off the shoulder, you can't shoot across, right? And I would definitely say you're on the shoulder, so legally the only way you could have got that is if you would have either crossed the fence right there or gone up that way and made a stalk on the critter, right? All right, here's the deal. I know you got to do a little bit better than that, right? We understand, so we're not going to be real hard on him. We're not going to be hard on you guys either. I mean, if you put them up to jumping out there and shooting at it, we could certainly cite you, but I think you're old enough to know, you've been to hunter safety, you can read, right? So you're able to read regulations. Yeah. And it says specifically, you got to be on the, you can't shoot off the shoulder, on the outside of the burrow pit or berm. I don't want you to get it in your head that it's not a big deal, because it is. It's illegal. That's what we're trying to stop around here. The deer got to have a chance. But as far as the monetary penalty and hunting violations and stuff goes, it might not be as bad as you think, but that's left up to the judge, because you're 15, so you'll have to go talk to the judge with one of your parents or your guardian or whoever sometime within the next couple weeks, okay?
You're watching Wardens only on Outdoor Channel. Region 5 Wardens Lupke and Tyree have just had a young hunter exercise poor judgment and take a shot at a deer decoy.
Take a shot. Take a shot.
They issue a citation for the infraction, but a judge will determine the final outcome of the case.
All right. Well, I expect you to clean it up after this, all right? Although you're hunting with these guys and they're adults, you're the one who pulls the trigger. You know what I mean? He told you get to keep your license, right? That's an enormous break. You could be done hunting bucks for the year, but we're letting you keep that thing. But we're looking for people that are doing other things, other illegal animals in their vehicles, no licenses, other people's licenses, stuff like that, okay? So for us, this is minor, but it's very important. I don't think you're ever gonna make the mistake again, right? Okay. Yeah, carry on, guys. I think most states have laws where it's illegal to shoot from a vehicle or a county road or across a county road. And definitely Montana for sure. It's essentially a drive-by shooting of an animal. It's illegal. It's one of the biggest violations we have to contend with. It's unethical. There's some fair chase violations there. It's just not fair to the animal. Anybody could drive up and down these roads and shoot these animals right out of the vehicles.
One of Warden Lupke's passions is working with his dog Axel. The dog has been trained to help find evidence, which Warden Lupke often uses to build stronger cases.
We're gonna run the dog here, run Axel along this ditch and see if he can find a shell casing. I know for a fact there's one out there. Down. Wait. Heel. Search! I'm gonna be somewhere over here so I can kind of guide his search a little bit. Go find it. Find the brass. Oh, looks like he's indicating on it already. What do you have? See that right between his paws right there? Good boy! And he gets a ball. Oh, where'd you go? That's who you're shooting, a 248, so definitely a happy dog handler when your dog does what he's supposed to do. Good boy! Good boy! Yeah, you're a brass finder.
200 miles to the west in Region 2, Warden Terry Althouse and Captain Jeff Dara have set up an elk decoy.
We got one coming.
This vehicle sets for several minutes and studies the elk. Our wardens approach the vehicle to get them to move along, but in the process, find something interesting.
He told him that it was a real elk? Oh, well, I'll get in with. Is he by himself?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was legal to shoot this size or not, so.
Okay. It's illegal. Did you call him and tell him to come down here?
Yeah, to tell me if it was.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to get in your truck and we're going to drive down the road and we'll wait for your buddy to drive by.
Okay.
Okay, because you just can't call. That's two-way communication. So.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know that.
So if it's all right, I'll just jump in with you and we'll go down the road a little bit.
Sure.
Okay.
Say, Joe or Tyler, are you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Jeff jumped in with this guy. They're gonna come down past you because he got on the phone and called his buddies up in camp to tell him this elk was here. He's non-resident from Alberta. So Jeff's in with him. They're going to go on by you. We're going to see what happens when the buddies come down.
We copy.
Captain Dara jumps in the vehicle and talks with this hunter as the hunting buddies arrive.
Hate to do this to your buddy, but...
well, I just, the reason I phoned him was, this is my first time ever hunting, and I didn't know if this size was legal.
If it was legal or not.
So that's why I just asked him.
Okay, so is he coming down here?
Yeah, he said, I'll come down and have a look for you.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just go down around the corner and we'll stop, and then if he stops and gets out and does the same thing you did, then he'll pass the test, and if he jumps out and shoots it, then he'll flunk the test. Yeah, the regulations here is it's got to be a brow tine bull, and what that means, it has to have a point on the lower half of the rack that's at least 4 inches.
Yeah, see, that's what I asked him. He said, does it have a brow tine? And I said, I can't see, it's behind a spruce.
Yeah.
He said, okay, wait there, I'll come and tell you.
Yeah, it looks like he's studying it.
But will he make the right choice? The use of two-way communication for hunting purposes is illegal in Montana. Captain Jeff Dara has jumped in a truck with a hunter who has called his buddies down to take a look at an elk, which is actually a simulated wildlife decoy.
I think we're about done. They either shoot it real quick or they don't, you know. I'll let you go.
Okay, guys, carry on.
All right, thanks. Hey, fellas. That one would be tough to eat, so. No, and it's a decoy.
Is it a decoy?
Yeah, it's not even real. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if I could have you guys move on, we talked to your partner down there.
Oh, okay.
And he called you, right?
Yeah.
To ask what was legal and what was not? All right, so he was calling you to see if he could shoot it, so. Okay. All right, well.
You want to see what they turn it
No, we just need to have you not tell anybody what's going on down here. We're looking for poachers, and he's not one. He did it right, so. All right, thanks, guys.
85 miles to the north, Wardens Ezra Schwalm and Bill Copen have a bull elk decoy set up near Lincoln, Montana. It's well before shooting hours.
It's illegal to shoot before shooting light, and it's illegal to shoot after shooting light, so at that point, it's illegal regardless of what it is. A lot of the times when we have the people shoot the decoy, you know, it's an opportunistic thing. I kind of describe it as, you know, they lose their mind. Early in the morning and later at night when we're running them in the dark to get the headlight shooters and or the spotlighters, you obviously have to be really careful. They're driving down the road, they see the elk, they jump out and they shoot. And
Put the gun down!
after the illegal activity takes place, we turn lights on, obviously, to secure the scene. Take, you know, the gun is the primary concern at this point.
That's all right. We'll just keep it. It's empty, so it's all clear. Everything's safe. You know what you did wrong?
Yeah, I shot at an elk.
Okay. 7:03 in the morning. You're before shooting hours. What else?
We got on
What
the
else?
road.
Shot from the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never done that.
When we have a guy that, or you know, a guy or gal that shoots the decoy, they kind of hang their head when we jump out of the bushes because they're like, oh boy, I shouldn't have done that.
Any other weapons in the vehicle, sir?
No.
Okay, no pistols?
No.
Okay.
We want to know where the gun's pointing. We want it out of their hands. We want to get control over the gun, any gun. A lot of times these guys aren't alone. They got passengers in the vehicle that have guns, so we want to make sure all the guns are secured.
Okay. Maybe a driver's license. Okay, that's all right. You're all right. Just those all your tags or your wife's too? Okay, we'll just take them all for now. Thank you. You're fine. You don't.
Yeah.
You're all right. Just go on up there. Ezra will take you around that corner. And
Just go around the corner and pull down in.
obviously move out of the way. You know, in low light conditions, we could have, you know, other people coming around, car wreck, you know, somebody not even paying attention to what we're doing and shoot the decoy again. So we try to get it all secured, get them away from it, you know, go about our business at that point.
Tell you what, like I said, you know, like Bill said to you, you know, you shot from the road and you shot early, okay? Shooting light's not till 7:08 this morning. Okay. Tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut you some slack, okay? I'm just gonna warn you for the shooting early, all right? But we're gonna have to write a citation for shooting from the road. Okay, you did get out of the pickup.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you opened the door and you were shooting through the crux of the door,
yeah,
correct?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. And there's also $50 restitution for the decoy.
Okay.
As part of that.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to just hang out, we'll get this sorted out and I'll be right with you.
Okay.
Okay.
And in this case, this morning, same exact thing. Door swung open, stepped out, put the gun up between the open door and the windshield and shot.
You're watching Wardens only on Outdoor Channel. Today on Wardens, it has been an all-out assault on road hunters, or poachers if you will. Region 5 Wardens found a young lad that had just completed hunter education and should have known better, but made a major mistake. Region 2 Wardens have had a close call at one sting operation.
Looked pretty good from here.
Thank you.
And a few miles north, Wardens Bill Copen and Ezra Schwalm have just had shots fired in the dark.
Put the gun down! Put the gun down!
The shooter we had this morning, you know, it was a quick deal, and that's typical. People that really look at it, we've had people shoot it that have took a lot of time to look at it, but that's not necessarily the norm. It usually happens, you know, they see it and the door swings open, and in this case, this morning, same exact thing. Door swung open, stepped out, put the gun up between the open door and the windshield and shot. So it happened real quick, and you know, at that point, we, you know, go ahead and secure the scene like, you know, we talked about, to secure the firearms, make sure everything's safe. And in this particular case is what is fairly normal, you know, he hung his head and was like, boy, you know, I've never done that before.
And document that he shot at 7:03 and document he shot from the road. And you're good.
They shoot a decoy, that should be their elk tag, but as it stands right now, we just give it back to them.
You'll have a court date. There'll be a phone number. You'll definitely want to call the court. And then you'll go ahead and get a date set, and you'll go before the judge. Just a mistake, huh?
It is a mandatory appearance when we shoot the decoy. Okay, the appearance date is the 7th of December. Okay, if that's a problem, call them. Sometimes they work with you, okay, and try to help that out. You will lose your hunting privileges for probably a year and a half, 2 years. I don't know, that's the judge does it, okay? Other than that, do you have any questions for me? It's the violations 87.3.109, attempt to take simulated wildlife decoy, and 2 wit is shot from road and technically closed season before shooting. Okay. I just have to put what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not your guys' fault, so let's do that.
I like to refer to it as they let the moment control them. They didn't control the moment. And you know, that's what I tell people is if you control the moment, you won't let that moment overtake you and do something that you normally wouldn't do. We don't put these decoys up to just the I gotcha kind of thing. You know, we put them up where we're having problems with that type of activity, and we put them up, you know, to control that. It's an awfully good deterrent. The word spreads like wildfire. When you pop a decoy up, everybody that knows about it is going to tell their friends, and their friends are going to tell their friends, and it's a good deterrent, you know, that maybe I shouldn't see an animal and immediately go to trying to shoot it. Think about what I'm doing, and it helps with that.
throughout the course of the day, if you run a decoy long enough, people will start coming onto it and they'll take a good look at it and they know it's a decoy. We've been doing this long enough that, you know, the word is out there that it's a decoy, and they'll yell at it or yell at us or try to find us. And there was some of that. Some jokers came by and were asking, I think, if we could make the decoy break dance, which we can't. But if we could, that would be great.
That's kind of cool. Whoa. Cut.
Well, we were up there watching the decoy, and there was a bend in the road, and around the bend, we heard a real close shot. So I took off, got into my pickup, and drove out of there and drove down the road around the bend. And there was the yellow vehicle, SUV-like vehicle was parked off to the side, and a guy was walking around in the woods. So I pulled up in my truck, pulled over, got out and walked around, and could see, you know, foot tracks, could see where he was standing, could see that he shot from the road there at a different animal. So basically got back in my truck. The individual never saw me or my truck, turned around and came back, parked my truck in the hide spot, and got out and came back down and told Warden Copen that, you know, he was heading this direction and he was likely gonna possibly shoot at the decoy.
When we return, we're going to take you back a few years to 2008 and revisit the biggest bust of Warden Ezra Schwalm's career.
It was about 8 o'clock in the morning when the call came in. And the report was just drag marks coming down a road, Forest Service access road, and blood in the drag marks in the snow. Planning on taking the day off and had a meeting with the Forest Service biologist out of Lincoln that day. Put my uniform on, looked at my wife.
And he said, before he left, I'll see you for lunch.
Which was a real big mistake. Never did that before. And certainly won't ever do it again. I knew better.
So I just kind of set about doing my own thing. We had just moved here at the time, so I was busy unpacking boxes and setting up the house. And
so I drove down, met with the informant, and actually had him come in the truck with me, which I typically don't do, but being brand new, only 2 weeks in that district, I really didn't know the country at all yet. And went and collected some evidence and was getting back in the truck, driving him back to his house, and basically told him, you know, typical spiel, well, you know, it's 2 days old or older, you know, no suspects, no license plates, you know, just some blood in the snow that I took samples of. Probably not gonna be a lot I can do. And he just happened to mention, well, there's some younger guys staying in a cabin up here. And I was like, well, let's go talk to them. So drove up that road, started heading up the road to the cabin, and he has an easement to go up and access property up by there. And we drove up the little spur road to the cabin, and as we were coming up the hill, there was a pickup truck parked. Oh, there's a deer laying right there. The way the grade of the terrain was, as I came up, I could look straight under the pickup truck and saw a mule deer buck laying there, full carcass buck. And all the blinds were pulled on the cabin, and I, you know, drive up and see that, and I'm like, well, there we go. So at that point, I was actually putting it in reverse to back up and leave to go get a search warrant and handle it that way. And at that time, an individual walked around the corner of the cabin, saw me, and there was a blue tarp laying by it, which I could not see at the time behind the truck. And I did see him grab blue tarp and throw it over the deer. Gotta talk to him now, I guess. Hey! Why don't you come on over here? at that point, I call him over to talk to him. And I said, you know, what's under the tarp, even though I'd seen it. Well, I saw the deer, so why don't we just take care of that right now? His response was beef bones for the dog. And then at that point, I was like, you know, come on, man, I saw the deer, let's just handle it.
I don't think you got permission to be up here.
Okay. Well, I come up here to ask some questions, see what was going on, and I see the deer there, okay? So why don't we just...
I need to see some paperwork.
Okay. How many people are in the cabin?
4.
Okay. Including you?
Yeah.
Okay. You got guns in there and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So can we take care of this? So, I mean...
I'm going to need to see some paperwork before you come up here.
Okay. Did have him go back to the cabin, which was probably a mistake on hindsight, to get everybody else out of the cabin. One person did come out very briefly, and it turned out to be his brother.
You guys come over here for a second. You guys got ID on you? Recreate.
I got their IDs, and at that point they continued to go get paperwork that says you can be here. It turned out, which was clear to me at the time even, but it did turn out, you know, they'd all been through the system before for other things. They've all had wildlife violations, either charged with or interviewed about, and other non-wildlife violations. So then I left. I pulled out of there. I had no radio and no cell phone coverage, unfortunately. The cell phone, nothing you can do about that. To this day, there's still no cell phone coverage there. The radio problem was simply that I'd been in the district for 2 weeks and hadn't ironed those bugs out on some channels.
With no radio or cell coverage, how will his day turn out?
I refer to it as it basically looked like they murdered somebody in that cabin. There was just blood everywhere, blood on everything.
You're watching Wardens only on Outdoor Channel. It was the 3rd week of January, and Warden Ezra Swam received a tip reporting blood and drag marks in the snow. His investigation leads him to a cabin to ask a few questions, but what he finds looks fishy.
When I backed out of there, I took the informant who was with me back to his house and made phone calls from his house. I called Captain Jeff Dara, who happened to have both Sergeant Joe Jakewith and Dan Curtin in the office, and we just started talking about it. Sergeant Joe Jakewith started writing search warrant basically as I was on the phone with him, dictating what I saw, where it was, the particulars. Dan Burns, who was in Deer Lodge at the time, started coming my way, and we sat at the bottom of the hill. And there was a lapse in time there, so they could have left. Turned out they did not. It took a while, you know, for the search warrant to get finalized, signed.
Okay, we got the search warrant signed by Judge Odlin, and we're ready to go ahead and execute it.
In the grand scheme of things, it's not a while. It happened all on the same day.
And what happened while Warden Swams and Burns waited for the search warrant to arrive?
They had borrowed snowmobiles, if you will, snowmobiles from a neighboring cabin. They were taking parts and pieces and whole carcasses and driving them with the snowmobiles and scattering it to the winds.
About 11:30, I figured, well, he should be home any minute. Started to fix lunch, no Ezra. Noon comes and goes, no Ezra. He had an appointment to meet with the wildlife biologist in town at 1 o'clock, and about 1:15, 1:20, Pat calls and asks, you know, where's Ezra? I hadn't seen him. I hadn't heard anything, and I just assumed that he left, you know, straight from whatever he was doing, just decided to skip lunch and head to meet with Pat. And when Pat called and said he didn't show up, I started to panic.
Once the warrant got to us, we went back up to the cabin and pulled him out of the cabin. at that point.
Game warden, why don't you come over here for a sec?
Showed him the search warrant and then proceeded with the search warrant. The original deer that started all this, it was clearly gone, and there was no other wildlife parts, pieces, or anything at that point, other than what was in the cabin, antlers hanging up.
He told me he'd be home for lunch. It is not like Ezra at all to miss an appointment, and especially miss an appointment and not call.
We did the search warrant, and I refer to it as it basically looked like they murdered somebody in that cabin. There was just blood everywhere, blood on everything. At one point, Matt Stonecipher pulled a tarp out from under the bed in the bedroom, and we figured it to be at least a pint of liquid blood actually splattered on the wall when he pulled that tarp out from under the bed. Clothes with blood on it, duffel bags with blood on it, knives. We tagged all the evidence, took a lot of stuff. None of the four individuals would interview. None of them would talk to us. So at that point, it was all evidence. Ended up sending 51 pieces of just DNA forensic type evidence to the lab. We had all the blood evidence, all the forensic type evidence, but we had no animals at this point because they had taken them and hauled them off. And still at this point, you know, to me, I'm looking at one deer. You know, that's all I saw, and that's what started the whole thing.
Well, I waited till probably 5 o'clock before I called Ezra's boss in Missoula to ask if he was okay. Well, when I called Jeff, of course we just moved here. I had never even met Ezra's boss, and I was a little nervous about calling. I didn't want to seem like the panicked game warden wife. But I called and I just explained who I was and what happened, and he said, oh yeah, he's fine. He's just on a case, which huge relief.
I got the call about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I think I got home at 1 o'clock the next morning. The next day, Dan Burns and I took snowmobiles and went all around the back of that cabin, which was actually at that time was the Nature Conservancy ground. And that day we found a moose carcass, processed moose carcass. And with a knife, it's sticking up out of the snow, which did have a bloody fingerprint on it. And we also found a toe strap, and that was laying there, and a Gatorade, empty Gatorade bottle. So we collected all that, brought that out. The next day, Dan Burns, myself, Sergeant Dan Curtin, and Captain Jeff Dara, the four of us went back and did that again. And that day, I believe we found 3 or 4 dump sites and hauled all that out. And it was a hodgepodge of stuff. Every dump site, you know, would add, you know, there's a moose quarter, a deer leg, a deer quarter, and a piece of an elk. You know, all of them were that way. There was not. So we took all that out, and then ultimately we took samples of all that to match to the samples we had from the cabin, and sent it all into the lab, and eventually that all came back. And then we had just a web of, you know, this matches this matches this, and it tied, basically definitively tied 4 deer, an elk, and 1 moose back to that cabin.
When we return, it's back to Schwalm's decoy sting to see how things end up for the yellow truck.
The decoy we had set up at the time was a spike elk, which was illegal for the area. It was a brow-tine bull only area, or cow, actually, in that area as well.
Warden Schwalm investigated a gunshot down the road from the decoy location, knowing this too was a potential shooter on their simulated wildlife decoy.
So he came up, and he actually drove by the decoy and turned around and came back, and he sat there for a while. Normally we wouldn't let somebody sit there that long. Not a lot of traffic coming that day. We didn't hear any other traffic coming. So we decided just to see what happens. And he was sitting there in his pickup with the door open with the rifle on his lap. And we just thought, what's gonna take place here? So we left it go for a little while. Warden Copen walked down there, actually, walked right up to the passenger window and looked in. And I guess that's when we realized for sure he had the gun on his lap. Warden Copen turned around and indicated to me that the gun was sitting on his lap, and he was paging through regulations at one point. And so actually, Copen came back up and got back into our little hiding spot and went down there, a couple different times. And the last time, he actually went to the front of the vehicle at the hood on the driver's side and stood there for a while, and the guy never even knew he was there. And finally he said, "Hey, good job not shooting the decoy." The guy was all surprised, and I think Copen had to tell him 2 or 3 times it was a decoy before before it dawned on him that it wasn't a real elk. And it turned out that he was sitting there waiting for more elk to come out. He had realized it was a spike, and good for him, he wasn't going to shoot the spike, it was illegal, but was waiting for more elk to come out. But at that point, then we had to address the shooting from the road. It turned out to be a deer around the bend.
So you shot from the road.
Off the edge of the road.
But that's better than shooting from the, are you allowed
So
to shoot
we
from the
talked to
road
him
in
about
Minnesota?
that, and he ended up admitting that he did shoot from the road down there from at a deer. You know, because he was pretty straightforward with us, because he did the right thing with the decoy, we gave him a written warning for shooting at the deer.
Now for the conclusion of Warden Schwalm's case file.
Our investigator sat down and just made a web, I guess, for each one, and then a total one. I guess the best way to put it is like a matrix of each piece of evidence tying back to the cabin, and just arrowed them back to the cabin. And then, with that, it was enough to go get arrest warrants for all 4 individuals, since none of them would talk to us at that time. So we got $50,000 arrest warrants for all 4 of them, 4 individuals. One was still in Kalispell, so we went and got him at his house. We had information that one of them was flying into Kalispell from Texas, so we picked him up at the airport when he flew in, and 2 of them had gone to Alaska. And the Powell County Sheriff flew to Alaska and picked up those 2 and brought them back. The day we did the arrest warrants, obviously the 2 in Alaska were going to be picked up. We picked the 2 up in Kalispell, and they actually both interviewed at that time. And their stories were very accurate, meaning matching each other. Very little, if any, discrepancy between the 2 stories. That told us that we found all the dump sites but one. The Gatorade bottle is an interesting deal because we did it subsequently, then got search warrants to collect human DNA samples from all 4 of them. And we had that tested. And the Gatorade bottle actually definitively came back to 2 of those individuals. All of them spent, a handful of days at least, if not a week or more in jail before they got bonded out. Both that we picked up in Kalispell eventually bonded out, as well as the 2 that were brought back from Alaska eventually bonded out. Then the case was put together, and eventually they plea bargained a deal, and never did go to trial. We got quite a bit of money in fines and restitution. Each one of them, all 4 of them lost their privileges for 14 and a half years. It was felony activity, but the felonies got dropped to misdemeanors in the plea deal. The big thing that I think about is, I caught these guys, and you always, you ask this type of thing when you do get to talk to people. Is this, something you do all the time? And, I've never had anybody tell me, yep, I do it all the time. They always say no. But, that they've been doing this for a long time. For me, that was my biggest case that I've ever had up to this point, close to 7 years of doing this. I hope it's not the biggest one I ever make, but to this point it is.